Welcome back, guys, and this is the Squarebody Trail Bruiser, which is a follow-up to the Trail Brawler that you guys, of course, know and love from previous streams and videos. Now, just a couple of specifics about this truck just to go ahead and get started. This truck comes in, or I should say the mod itself comes in at around 500 megabytes in size, and it is fully unbranded and hopefully will be making its way to console as long as it passes testing. Now, obviously, as you can see, there are some parts that are carried over from the Trail Brawler, like, for example, the wheels. However, I haven't gone into the full wheel selection yet, so there may be some wheels that we haven't seen that are exclusive to this truck, but we'll have to see. And then, of course, there are multiple tunes ranging from the more realistic side to the more crazy, absolute send it side. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing into the garage. And then, of course, we're out here on TNB trails, so we've got rocks, we've got a racetrack, we've got mud, we got all sorts of areas that we can go to test this truck out. So let's recover it into the garage and get to the build. Now, this Trail Runner tune is 750 horsepower. The Grocery Getter tune is 450 horsepower. And then, of course, the Pin It to Win It tune is 1400 horsepower. Now, normally, I would say I would probably go with the 1400 horsepower tune right off the bat, but for this one, I'm actually not. I'm going to stick with the Trail Runner spec twin turbo 750 horsepower tune because that seems to be the one that is really custom tailored to fit this truck and this truck's driving style. Now, transmission-wise, you have the low and slow experimental crawler, the race 8-speed, the tow and haul 10-speed, and the Trail Runner spec 6-speed. I'm going to leave the Trail Runner spec 6-speed for now and then switch it out a little bit later for the race spec 8-speed or the low and slow crawler trans. Now, suspension-wise, we have the King of the Hammers spec, the tow and haul spec, and of course, the Trail Runner spec. We're going to go with the King of the Hammers spec because really at that point, it's your indestructible suspension. And tires-wise, we have the Baja TA, we have the 49-inch Trepadors, we have Super Swamper TSLs, we have 50-inch Boggers that we start off with, we also have Creepy Crawlers, we have Pitbull Rockers, BFG Crawlers, Thornbirds, and IROCs. And then you also have a Diffuse Snow and Ice tire, which has the physics of a chain tire. So we're actually going to go with the BFG Crawlers on this thing. And let's see, we're going to do the Trail Runner spec 12-volt winch. And diff lock-wise, we've got the always-on diff lock right now. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then snorkel-wise, we have the Super Trick Invisible Roll Cage Snorkel, and we have another one as well. I'm not sure why it has two options for that, but we're going to go with what we have on there right now. And let's see, so in the back, also, by the way, you have 4 race seats with full harnesses in this thing. So freaking cool. This, just like the truck before it, is incredible in terms of quality. Now, as far as bumpers go, we have a pretty decent selection. We have the Black Ops front bumper, we have the chrome front bumper, and then, of course, the Black Ops in the rear, chrome, and then you can change up the license plate as well. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go with the Black Ops front bumper, and as far as the rear bumper goes, I'm just going to leave it with the... Well, actually, I mean, I kind of like... I don't know. I mean, that one's just kind of hanging out down there at the bottom of the frame. I'll do the Black Ops front bumper, so there is actually something there. And then Black Ops grill for sure. And then let's see, Bruiser hood or custom shaved flat hood. I'm going to definitely stick with the Bruiser hood. I think it looks great. I love the vented hood. Now, let's see, body visuals. We've got rear cab molding and tailgate plaque. I'm not going to do the tailgate plaque, but I am going to, well, I don't know. Oh, I see what that adds, the rear cab molding. I see what that does. Okay, well, we might as well put the tailgate plaque on as well. And tow and haul, obviously, this thing is not currently set up for hauling, and if you wanted to use it for that, you could, but that's not what this build is set up for. Now, Trail Runner off-road package, or you can go with the Trail Runner spec protection, or you can go ahead and take the cage out completely if you prefer a slightly more stock look, but of course, you still have that rear-mounted radiator in the back, which looks freaking sick. So we're going to put the cage back in, and let's see, what do we have on there right now? Let me find a matching... Okay, so we got BFG crawlers in the back, but we got 2 different variants. Not quite sure how that's supposed to work. There we go. So we've got the KMC machete bead locks. Let's do that, and we'll put a spare BFG crawler in the back to match, because that's obviously the setup that we're running on the truck right now, so you can match your spare tire to the wheels and tires that you're running. And we've got the KMC machete bead locks. We're not going to change those right now, but if you did want to change them, you have a pretty good selection of wheels between these BBS bruisers. You have the KMC machetes, and you also have the Method 101 bead locks, which look sick as well. Now, oh, the KMC beadlock gold wheels look amazing. Now, as far as paint colors go, you have, oh, the camo is pretty cool. Now, oh my god, these colors are so incredibly shiny. Like, as far as the texturing goes, these look like they just came out of the paint shop. I'm serious. And they go on and on and on and on. And, I mean, yes, this may be like a very slightly different red than the red that we had before, but I'll tell you, like, this red versus the red that's like all the way up here is not that red, that's orange. There we go. That red. See, this one's a little bit brighter and also a little bit deeper. The one on the bottom is a little bit more towards maroon, but not quite. So there's a lot of attention to detail that has been put into getting these colors on point. I'm actually going to go with the orange because I really like how it looks. Nothing in terms of interior customization right now, but let's take this thing out and see what it's actually like to drive. It sounds really good, too. It sounds freaking awesome. All right, so let's make our way... Whoa! Let's make our way out to some trails and see how it feels. Now, I can already tell you that this particular engine and transmission tune is super well matched to each other. And I can tell you that because it's not jumping around at all. It's not making any weird motions. It's not, you know, freaking out as you drive along. It really is, at the end of the day, doing a really good job at keeping me exactly where I need to be right on the trail without having any issues. So, God, it's such a pretty truck. It is such a pretty truck. I just want to go ahead and admire the truck real quick because, wow, it's gorgeous. I mean, if you get into a slow pan around the truck, holy crap. And you could also, just like the other truck, the truck before it, you could take that hood off and see the engine in all its glory. And as a matter of fact, I kind of want to do that real quick because I feel like it would look incredible. But we're going to need the HUD back in order to do that. Boom! There's your twin-turbo V8, boys. God, it looks amazing under there. Looks absolutely incredible under there. And you could, if you really wanted to, run this thing with no hood on it at all. Now, this trail right here is a pretty simple one, but it'll be a really great test and a really great way to show you guys how this thing works in SnowRunner tune and SnowRunner spec. Great travel out of the suspension, flexes out really, really nicely. But if you did want to take this thing into a more high-paced racing environment, you totally could. Let's see, it would give it a little bit of a jump over that. Dude, it's absolutely just like, not even, I wouldn't even say making its way through the trail. It is obliterating this trail as it goes. Little steep there, but oh yeah, it's got plenty of power to get it done. Making our way around the corner. And I know that at the end of the day, this is kind of an easy trail for this truck, but really and truly, I still think it's incredible. Like, I just cannot get over how good this thing looks. I mean, the views that you have on this map are so pretty, so incredibly pretty. By the way, that interior, though, is absolutely freaking sick. Bruiser branded harness belts, by the way, custom racing seats, custom door panels, custom steering wheel, like, custom freaking dash. Oh, that's steep. And, like, literally, if you wanted to do an entire first-person trail riding experience with this truck, you totally could, and it would work. It would genuinely work. Make your way up. There you go. I haven't taken this thing out of automatic mode yet either, because the automatic gearbox in SnowRunner spec is tuned so well. There we go. The grip is right on par with where I would expect it to be. Not too crazy, but just enough to get the job done. I absolutely love how this thing has been tuned in terms of SnowRunner spec. There's really nothing that I would say you couldn't get done with this truck on a trail. I mean, sure, there might be some challenging pieces of a trail for it, but if you pick your lines right, you're definitely going to get it done. See how it does through the rocks. Easy. There you go. Dude, wow. It didn't even struggle. I mean, there was a little bit of searching around for traction, but that wasn't on the truck. That was on me. So let me see if I can ease it down this rock face. Ease it down. Let's see how balanced it is. There you go. Oh my God, that was sick. And it does have just enough of an approach angle to allow you to drive back down onto the trail. But I'll tell you something. It had no indication of wanting to roll over. Absolutely no indication of wanting to roll over whatsoever. And by the way, that's another gorgeous shot of this thing. Look how pretty of a truck that is. Like, again, I just want to go into photographer mode again. Look how good that looks. I could stare at this truck for way longer than I should be able to. But, I mean, it absolutely lends itself to that cinematic gameplay style that so many of us know and love. All right, let's throw that HUD back on, and real quick, we're going to recover back to the garage, and we're going to throw the Pin It to Win It tune on it, and we're going to throw the speedy transmission in it. Now, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Fire it up, and... oh, God. All right, send it. Whoa! Oh, God. Okay, yeah. It's definitely designed for yeeting it. I would definitely not... oh my God. I would definitely not recommend that engine and transmission tune for what you would refer to as normal gameplay. For that, I would definitely recommend the SnowRunner spec engine and transmission. The 1400 horsepower engine and the speedy transmission are definitely, well, let's just say, if you don't want to yeet, don't install those. But if you do want to yeet and you enjoy yeeting your trucks around, you'll have a blast with it. Kind of sent the back end out on that corner. I do want to see how it does around the racetrack with this tune, but I have a feeling it's going to be all over the place. But, I mean, even if it's all over the place, it's going to be all over the place in the best way possible. So, let's make our way down there and stay on the trail. Thank you. Just a little bit. There we go. Whoa! Slid the back end out quite a bit. It's actually tuned to slide the back end out a lot more than you might think. Let me stay to that inside there. I really would hate to flip this thing over right before the, like, start-finish line. All right, let me just take the direct route. There you go. And we're just going to go ahead and send right into it. Oh, boy. It's still pretty controlled. I'm not going to lie. It's still pretty freaking controlled. For having this much power and that crazy of a transmission, I mean, you could still get some proper work done with it in terms of a racetrack. I mean, it's pretty balanced on the jumps, too. Now, I definitely would recommend, if you're going to be racing this thing, I would recommend going with that King of the Hammers suspension because, as you can see, it's already pre-damaged all the way out, which means you can't really acquire any more suspension damage, which is super convenient when you're in a racing scenario with a lot of jumps. Oh, just barely cased that one and went into a roll. That was not optimal, but luckily we could fire it back up, and thanks to the cage, the truck was protected for the most part, so we don't really have to worry about breaking all that much stuff. Now, I would really rather not nose case these jumps, and that's what you call over jumping to flat. You definitely don't want to do that. Although, it turns so well if you're on the power in the middle of a corner. Like, if you give it throttle as you're... I didn't give it enough throttle there, obviously, but if you give it throttle as you're turning, it really, really helps. Oh my God, that's a big overjump. I'm so used to so many trucks there to where if you don't give them enough gas before you go up over the jump, they'll case it and they'll come up too short. Whereas this thing... oh my God, I mean, you get it up to, like, half throttle, and it's already running more than enough momentum to make it. Yeah, you gotta get into the gas to get it out of trouble, and that might seem weird if you're used to a lot of other trucks in SnowRunner where when you're driving them in an environment like this, you gotta lift off the throttle to get them out of trouble, but this thing, you steer it and you floor it. Well, maybe not floor it, but at the very least, give it some throttle. Oh, the steering is not as fast as I thought it was going to be. But again, that's just something to get used to the more you drive it. But if you guys enjoyed this video about this truck, make sure to check it out. Of course, there will be a link in the comments down, or I shouldn't say comments, the description down below. And if you enjoyed this truck, let me know. I love your thoughts and opinions on it in the comment section down below. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. And I'll see you guys next time.